Introducing the Landstalker multiplier. Every time there's a Landstalker mission, a multiplier will come into effect, doubling the score of any sins added in the next 30 seconds. Because this game deserves all the sins it gets. I kinda like this game, and don't worry, it's just a parody, mate. Deadlocked isn't even an innuendo. Why did the name get changed to Gladiator for European territories? Couch potato? Finally, a difficulty setting designed just for me. There's little to no punctuation on the difficulty select screen. Submitted by Heat Hoot Skyat Noctal AJ. Fucking YouTube names, man. The three robots in the beginning cutscene all look around confused when Starshield is right in front of them. Hey, if we can't see it, they can't see it. That's how cinematography works, right?
Gotcha.
Shouldn't Starshield have seen Ace Hardlight coming for him here?
A dramatic conclusion to one of the most exciting episodes of Dread Zone I have ever seen.
They say exciting, yet it's somehow 94 times slower paced than every challenge you get to play. Submitted by Monochromium.
Oh, you mean, right. Just a sec.
James Arnold Taylor isn't sailing the Spanish Main with a Keyblade wielder in this game, and I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Why not just use a sword? Al's here. For some reason. Sasha is now the mayor of Metropolis, which sounds like... Do I really have to do it? I mean, it was pretty terrible when I first said it, and fine. We get it, Ratchet and Clank 1 was a thing. Happy? As I was saying, submitted by Merzinski Zopek, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Sasha became the mayor of Metropolis, but as far as we know, she's barely got any qualifications for such a role besides being a daughter of a president. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Stop nudging me, I hate human touch.
Greetings, Mayor. Well, long time no see.
Practicing lines before talking to love interest cliche.
Apparently he was involved with some kind of illegal combat sport, something called Dread Zone. We believe it was being run by this man, Gleeman Vox.
You believe it's run by Gleeman Vox? You mean the man who makes it well known that he's the face of a company named after himself? For that matter, it's said later on in the game that Dread Zone attracts trillions of fans, which must mean it's being broadcast all over the galaxy. How has nothing been done about Dread Zone? Just because it's in the Shadow Sector? Why does everyone know so little about the Shadow Sector? And the Dread Zone station can't be too hard to find. It's a massive space station.
Ratchet, I just wanted to warn you before...
Of course.
You the Lombax known as Ratchet.
Considering there's only one known Lombax in the galaxy, that's pretty damn obvious. Submitted by... well, there were a lot of people who submitted this, the first one being Wavy Gravy 101, so I'll just paraphrase it. Why the hell didn't Ratchet shoot? You fight these guys all throughout the game, what made them so threatening here? Okay, let's assume he didn't have access to his weapons at that very instant, which is stupid as all hell, but... you know, just play along. How did these goons get aboard the ship? The Starship Phoenix is a very advanced starcruiser, but apparently lacks the means of detecting incoming enemy threats.
How many fingers am I holding up?
I don't see any fingers, but I do see two giant sausages. Also, why does literally everyone but Ratchet have two fingers?
How many fingers am I holding up?
No is not an acceptable answer to this question.
Okay, now to activate your speech function.
Me out of this thing, you blarg-headed frack monkey! I can barely breathe and my tail feels like it's shoved right up my...
Cursing cut short. Edgy. When Al drills into Ratchet's suit, he's lying down. When he comes to, he's standing up.
The new armor you're wearing is standard issue for new contestants.
Except there's no other contestants in Dread Zone who wear this armor.
If you do not complete the qualification course in the allotted time, we will all be terminated.
There is no allotted time. Submitted by Kingston, the king of Yoshis. Millionaire shark in space with mustache. I would like to point out, for a fourth time, that the PS3 ports of the PS2 Ratchet and Clank games are absolutely horrendous in areas. And of course, Deadlocked is no exception. Except, as you'll see in a few minutes, Deadlocked is worse than the original trilogy in this respect. Submitted by Shadowfish. Where is my magic helicopter robot backpack friend thing XDIDK?
Should a contestant become uncooperative or worse, boring, his or her collar can be detonated at any time with the push of a button.
I feel like this would be a great job for me. No human interaction to worry about, and after all that joking around about wanting to kill myself, I'll finally be able to do it. Submitted by Mabel Starr. Clank looks at his wrist even though he doesn't have a watch. I do it all the time, really trips people up. No, I'm not taking a sin off for Courtney Gears. Al shaking his ass is enough to give me night terrors. My biggest problem with Merc and Green is that they feel somewhat disjointed from the experience. They don't talk that much, aren't exactly the funniest characters around, and I don't think Ratchet ever speaks directly to them at all. Merc and Green apparently have known each other for some time according to this conversation and the wiki, but then they start discussing past combat scenarios as if they've only just met.
You ever been in country? You know, seen combat?
Me? Yeah, before I came here I saw a little action. It didn't end too well. I got my legs blown off.
We do hope you have a pleasant flight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our in-flight entertainment.
There's no real need for in-flight entertainment for a 2-minute flight.
Something you should know. I'm not a real Tyrannoid.
Talking Tyrannoids.
Time for some real action. It's time to blow it up!
Remember that this came out in 2005, which is... it was a very edgy year for video games.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? Catch it live. Right here. On Vox.
Vox. Not the most subtle parody, but, you know. Look at them announcers janking all over the place. This happens in almost every single cutscene and I hate it. Oh my god. Holy fuck. Holy shit. How do you fuck this up? Hey, you remember how those first 3 games had platforming in them? You enjoyed that, right? Well look, here's a platform. You like those, right?
Ace Hardlight is the perfectly manufactured celebrity, straight from the presses of the Gleeman Vox Media Empire. So tell me, why is it that I can't give this stuff away?
It's obvious why the kids don't like Ace Hardlight. It's because he's not a robot like the others. He's just a weird-looking Ace Ventura cross monkey with blonde hair. Vox said that he could detonate the collars of anyone who becomes boring. If Ace Hardlight merchandise isn't selling, I'd consider that as Ace's foray into boredom, so why does Vox continue to push Ace as a sellable brand so hard? And why hasn't his collar been detonated yet? Well, it's probably because no one could make a collar big enough to fit around his tree trunk neck. Submitted by Noob Sword Crew. In challenge mode, your ranking in Deadlocked will stay the same when you restart, so on challenge mode, you're already better than everyone else. The dual Vipers are probably the most fun to use machine gun-esque weapons in the Ratchet and Clank series alongside the N90 Hurricane. Even better when you get them to level 99, or unlock the Gangster Guns cheat. Which doesn't really make up for the fact that there's only 10 weapons in this game, several of which are taken up by a turret launcher, a subpar grenade launcher, and a near-useless shield launcher. Robot zombies. Landstalker mission. I'm not sure if this is the PS3 port's fault, but Dallas says...
You know, sometimes I think I could have taken that job on Annihilation Nation. They've got a great demo plan.
No less than 4 times in the span of about 6 minutes.
You know, sometimes I think I should have taken that job on Annihilation Nation. You know, sometimes I think I should have taken that job. You know, sometimes I think I should have taken that job.
No, apparently it is the port's fault. Not only will Dallas say the last quote several times, but neither Dallas nor Juanita will comment on anything at all outside of scripted dialogue and the occasional "Run, Ratchet, run." This is a sin in its own right, I suppose. But instead I'd like to pay tribute to the generally witty banter between our 2 Dreadzone commentators, which is gone but not forgotten.
I attack you with a spider tank, power level 5!
Spiders have 8 legs, get your facts straight. Gonna be honest, this is one of my favourite cutscenes in the franchise's history. Also because it reminds me of Underpants.
Yo, reactor, slap me some skin!
I really need to stop referencing Underpants.
Collect them all and exterminate your friends today!
I can't imagine that slogan is going to work very well for Vox. Then again, children's blood will mix in quite well with the blood already on their hands. Untextured level overview.
Their ultimate goal, destroy a monstrous alien creature known as the King Leviathan.
I swear, the Ratchet and Clank series has this giant hard-on for the word Leviathan.
My mother used to serve Lombax brains for breakfast with eggs and salsa.
How might a robot eat Lombax? Puma, huh? I think it looks more like a warthog. Lame boss battle is lame.
And now for a Vox Sports Update.
Not even trying to be subtle anymore.
Those Omega twins went down like wee little curly men.
Discount Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh god, please tell me I didn't accidentally put an I instead of an E in Schwarzenegger again.
Courtney Gears has made a remarkable recovery after a near-death experience last year when she was attacked by 2 psychotic fans.
It might be related to Ratchet, but wouldn't news like this run on a different channel other than Vox Sports?
2 giant spotlights lie dormant nearby. According to my nav grid, the spotlights are in separate sections of the city.
If the spotlights are considered as being in different sections of the city, then this is quite a small city. PS3 ports in, thanks to Glitch King. The Hollow Shield launcher doesn't do shit if enemies walk past it.
I guess this is a bad time to mention that I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, considering we've been in several other situations where we've been pretty far off the ground, also you're hovering. The cable launcher is pretty pointless as a gadget. It doesn't unlock any alternate routes in the previous few stages you've played, and honestly, it could have been replaced by a grind rail over the gap you're trying to cross.
Who else would watch Vox News? Temptation Asteroid? Galaxy's Funniest Decapitations? Yeah. Queer Eye for the Tyrannoid?
2005 was a very different time. Speaking of Halo from earlier, this game seems to draw a lot of inspiration from Halo. Gameplay is more combat focused, and there are a bunch of very Halo-esque vehicles for you to commandeer. You know, the worst part of Halo. In my opinion. Shit, how many people did I just piss off? We've already eliminated Shellshock, so the banner poster thing here don't make no sense no how. Also, Shellshock gets his own little arena to fight him in, whereas the other exterminators are all fought back at the Dread Zone arena, which makes boss encounters very repetitive.
Other notable contestants include Ratchet's ruthless robotic accomplice, Clank.
Clank's not a contestant, he's just a mission engineer.
You traitor! Do you think this is some kind of game?
Precisely. These are private living quarters, right? How did Ace just waltz in? More platforming. Remember platforms, guys? Remember when those were a thing?
Ratchet has reached the top of the Tower of Power! He may be the first contestant to do so in the history of Dread Zone.
So no one else, not even Ace Hardlight, has ever reached the top. Shouldn't Ratchet be number one at this point?
Ratchet went on to pilot a tanker ship for Zexon.
A week later, Ratchet got drunk and crashed his tanker into the ocean world of Equados. Who can forget these graphic images of baby seals smothered in radioactive waste?
Dread Zone are hypocrites. Who cares about the baby seals? They're doing a very poor job of protecting the only Lombax in known existence.
I have been chatting with a tech droid on the operations level. She may be able to provide the blueprints for these Deadlocked collars.
In other words, the story is progressing mostly because of the actions of a quote-unquote character that you will only ever see twice on screen. The Napalm mod is practically unusable. Whenever you use it, the game slows down worse than me trying to do math on the PS3 version. No, PS2 version's fine. Why did I just play the PS2 version? Why even bother purchasing wrench upgrades? Why not just make the wrench upgradable through use in its own right? The Scorpion Flail. Landstalker Mission. A blind man's eyes have better draw distance than that. Landstalker Mission. The planet of Walkson was so polluted it had to be evacuated in the original Ratchet and Clank. To see that they've repopulated their uninhabitable planet means that Ratchet and Clank really are massive dicks for blowing up Drek's new Blargian homeworld. Landstalker Mission. Landstalker Mission.
One psychotic killing machine dare to reach for the stars.
Hey look, James Arnold Taylor playing more than one character. It's about time my sitting finger was getting itchy.
Boy, Rich, I love you, Reactor. I was always there for you.
I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke reactor. Good night, everybody.
Time is halfway up. He's dragging his butt out there, Juanita. Looks like we might have another popper on our hands.
Ooh, I hope so. This time I brought a shower cap.
It's just like being in the front row at Aqua World. You're guaranteed to get wet.
Okay, who's the idiot that came up with the idea to program robots to display sarcasm?
Our contestant will have to clear the area of all enemies before he can land.
Why? It's not like I need to visit every area, I just need to land at one spot. Incidentally, the hovership is probably the best vehicle in the game. If the Banshee and Halo control like this, I might like vehicle sections in Halo better. Hey, so everything wrong with Halo confirmed? Turret Syndrome. The Mini-Bomb mod. Because you can never have too many bounces.
Subject 135. Choose one of the following items. A Courtney Gears musical lunchbox.
A shiny Courtney Gears appeared.
A talking secret agent Clank bobblehead.
If it were a secret agent Clank bobblehead, it'd be sporting his signature tuxedo. As it is, it's just a regular old Clank bobblehead.
Yeah, whatever. That guy's a tool.
I realize I probably harp on voice actors a bit too much sometimes, but man, I'm getting my gym partners on monkey flashbacks. That's bad. Bad game. Very bad.
Whose action figure would you rather have? Huh?
I don't know. Maybe that Lombax guy who smoked Reactor. He was like, who do you thought is wrong with all?
That's not how the fight went at all. Ratchet's probably never swung a punch in his life. Also, Dread Zone is a gladiatorial arena with completely uncensored death filmed live on camera, the contestants of which are being marketed and advertised to small children.
They've just been sent to one of Torvald's massive Ace Hardlight toy manufacturing plants. And although the plant was shut down due to shoddy sales, one of Ace's ships still remains.
Shut down or shot up? This place looks worse than a thing that was shot at recently. I don't know, just assume I made a joke at America's expense and dislike the video. The hoverbike. It's like Halo's Mongoose, but somehow somehow worse. Why are stick controls a thing? Why won't Halo let me drive with the triggers? Submitted by AJ Cundless, which sounds really sexual for some reason. Why doesn't the EMP take out the other robot enemies, or for that matter, the bots themselves? The getaway ship's been hidden, and Ratchet is expected to take days, even weeks, to find it. Except the way to find it is by turning all the obviously set up bolt cranks to activate vector transmitters so Clank can triangulate the location of the ship. Now, not only is that the most complex sentence I've ever spoken, but how do they expect to kill Ratchet in this challenge if they very obviously set up a way to find the ship's hiding spot?
Well, kids and dolphins and whatnot will be able to breathe a little easier.
Is that dolphin harassment?
No opponent has survived even 60 seconds against his razor-sharp titanium blades.
That sounds boring. I mean, I guess it'd be cool in a giant insectoid monster ripping the flesh from a squishy kind of way, but if I watch a big arena matchup, I want to be getting my money's worth.
But I have learned that many other heroes are imprisoned at this facility.
You've only just now learned others are imprisoned here? It's glaringly obvious.
We must help them, Ratchet.
Well, sure, but how?
I have noticed that the security monitors tend to go inactive when there is a big arena matchup.
Security monitors shouldn't just go inactive like that. It's their job to maintain 24-hour surveillance. That's a pretty serious design flaw. Submitted by the Blue Hydra. Give 50 cents to this pile of garbage. Maybe 50 cents is overdoing it. I wouldn't say it's as bad as Snivelac, but considering how low the B6 Obliterator's damage output is, as well as how limited its ammo is, it's outclassed by the Arbiter, Hunter Mine Launcher, Scorpion Flail, and Magma Cannon. Let's go with 15 cents. Submitted by Mark Seaman. Oh, this one is sexual. Okay. The Scorpion Flail is the best alternative melee weapon the series has ever had, but nothing like it is ever seen again. On one hand, this. On the other hand, the fucking motion sickness, man.
Ow, you're a genius! You did it!
I know.
No!
Looks like somebody broke the rules. Put it back on.
You're dead, Ace.
I have no actual reason for sinning this. I just find it corny and cringy, and it makes me sad.
This never should have happened. It's all my fault.
Character blames himself in a situation where it's not actually his fault cliché.
Planet Stygia. It's a world ravaged by continual meteor storms. Why, if not for Stygia's powerful defense shield, the entire planet would be decimated in a matter of hours.
It'd be easier to just inhabit an entirely different planet instead of erecting meteor shower defenses, right? Especially when said defenses can be turned off with the flick of a switch. Landstalker mission. Not sure if this is a remaster bug, but enemies morphed into animals with the morphing mod still have to be killed to progress. Submitted by Not a Pyro, who is not fooling anyone. There are only like 9 different enemies in this game, and all of them get reused. The way they introduce enemies on Serathos makes it seem otherwise, but no, unfortunately. Landstalker mission.
The destruction of civic property, illegal hoverbike gangs, inadequate dental hygiene.
Well, they're not technically wrong.
Ace Hardlight fans, prepare yourselves. I'm gonna make this one messy. We'll see who the real hero is. When I'm through with that furry freak, nobody's even gonna remember who he was.
Prepare yourself, Ace Hardlight fans. All 3 of you.
Ironically, I bypassed most of the fight by using the Harbinger before he could even regain his health. Submitted by Justin Sanchez, bracket cuts Hund, end bracket, fuck, who cares. Why did Ratchet get to fight Ace Hardlight in a fair 1v1 fight within the Battle Dome, meanwhile Captain Starshield in the beginning was killed by a sneak attack? Because Starshield just isn't as cool as Ace Hardlight, duh. My favorite kinds of sunglasses and visors are the types that have spots for me to slot my eyebrows into.
Ratchet! Don't let Fox do to you what he did to me.
Don't turn to the dark side cliché.
Fans reacted to Ace's defeat with shock and outrage. Boo!
There's something so hilarious to me about the way Juanita says the word boo. It's just boo. Unused merch is a neat idea for the backdrop of a press conference. So the Ghost Station. I first questioned how robot ghosts came to be, but then I remember that there are robotic zombie ghosts, which is somehow twice as confusing. Vox has every intention of seeing Ratchet die in this challenge, so, you know, why not make escape impossible? Remove the nodes, the hover ships, vendors, and crates littered about the place, then just strand him there. Not that hard, really. Okay, you know what? Fuck you guys. The Harbinger is awesome. It's got the weight and feel of an overpowered weapon like the Rhino, but with the sensible ammo capacity and damage output of a normal weapon, meaning it's powerful without being too overpowered. And come on, doesn't that just look cool? Screw you guys. Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough. Submitted by Tristan Gunnings. The Harbinger. It's not bad, but the description says it's a Dreadzone satellite gun. Why can we use it even if we aren't doing their work anymore? Why wouldn't they shut down the most powerful weapon in the game? Plot convenience? Game mechanics? Being nice to the player? Do they have no control of the satellites out of the Harbinger's trigger? Details, Insomniac. I need details. To further that, if it's a satellite gun, would it be powerful enough to fire all the way through the Dreadzone station? And if it is, would that not decimate the station after a few dozen rounds?
The impossible has been achieved! Team Darkstar has actually survived through the Ghost Station's infamous Gauntlet of Doom!
It can't be infamous, as the Gauntlet of Doom has been in an experimental phase for some time, and this is the first time it's been used. Submitted by Supernova Gaming. Al gets shot in the midsection, yet he needs a new arm and half of his head is now made of metal. What?
Please put this in your video, valeforXD.
If Ratchet doesn't disarm the detonator before time runs out, the Battle Dome will be blown into a trillion pieces!
I like Vox. He's not the most ambiguous villain in the series, but he's willing to risk his entire network just to get back a Ratchet. It's a level of insanity we don't really see from other Ratchet and Clank villains. So were Dallas and Juanita captives as well? The way they joked about heroes volunteering at the start of the game made them seem otherwise, but suddenly now they have collars.
The station is no longer on lockdown.
Good. Now get on a shuttle and get out of here.
Ratchet attempting a heroic sacrifice.
Cut out the sappy melodrama before you lose my entire audience.
A space slug just had a spastic attack and I don't know what to think about it. The boss fight against Vox would be an incredibly difficult one if only he had more health. I find that I end up defeating him before he even unleashes most of his attacks. Submitted by Glitch King. Shield launcher doesn't do shit if enemies walk past it on the wait a minute, I already had this sin. You know what, leave it in. Let's give it 2 sins, why not?
Here's a third act twist. The big bad guy just got bigger.
Compared to some other marginally better third act twists I've witnessed, this one's pretty poor.
Even if I don't make it out of here alive, at least a lot of other heroes escape tonight.
Enjoy your pathetic idealism.
Vox would be good at gaming sins.
Get in, Ratchet. There is no time remaining.
Clank X Machina. Was there any particular reason Ratchet would want to save that slug thing? He's a disgusting little shit. Submitted by name that's probably Russian and I really don't want to read it again because I'll probably mispronounce it and offend you. What the heck? Hydra Girl is already on a Quados? How did you get there so quickly? You were rescued literally minutes ago.
More calls coming in.
Ratchet, Clank, it's me, Captain Quark.
Quark is reduced to a single voice-only cameo. That's either a sin on or a sin off, depending on how you look at it.
Lawrence, what's going on? You said we were coming within range of a space station.
Oh look, more cameos that make the characters in this game look bad.
Well, we were, sir. How was I to know it would suddenly explode?
What are you yelling at Lawrence for? Seriously, how is he supposed to know?
Say you'll never leave me again for that nasty villain, Engelbert.
Oh, Lance! You make me feel like a young boy again.
Say what?
Submitted by JM0364. You can actually unlock a skin for Ratchet that turns him into Jack from the Jack and Daxter series. This would be amazing if it weren't for the fact that it's only usable in co-op mode and that only player 2 could use it. I don't have footage because I don't play multiplayer because I have no friends, but that sounds serious and I trust you, random person with Sporticus for their profile pic. Submitted by AJ Cundless. The 99 level cap for weapons is basically pointless unless you want your bullets / lasers to be rainbow colored. I like the rainbow colors, and it's especially cool when you've stuck 10 speed mods on the dual Raptors and the screen turns into a Technicolor mess, but yeah, I see what you mean. Submitted by Jonas Ender. Give it a sin for not being as good as Metro 2033. What shit is this? I'm not adding this sin, it's fucking Hey! You take that ding back right now, mister! Hey, no, don't bring up the results screen, take that sin off!
It's cold, it's dank, it's scary, it's just like my ex-wife.
How do you do, fellow kids? Thanks for watching Everything Wrong with Ratchet Deadlocked. Now I can stop calling it Deadlocked and start calling it Gladiator again. Did I miss any sins? Post them down below if you want, but I'm not making a part 2, fuck off. In case you missed it, I just want to reiterate the new rules for submitting sins. For one, finding all the sins that were submitted to me was a major pain in the ass, so if you want to send sins my way for the remaining games in the series, the best way to do it is to use #RatchetSins. I can't believe I'm reduced to using a fucking hashtag, Jesus Christ. I'm not going to be too picky if you don't use it, but if you want to have the best chance of getting your sin in the video, then make sure you use that hashtag. And just so you don't forget, #RatchetSins. Also, from now on, and I really do hate to say this, but please don't submit any more than 3 sins per game. Like I've said before, I appreciate those who did. You clearly put in a lot of time, thought, and effort into coming up with these massive lists, but it's a little unfair to others who also post sins, and it ends up leaving me with no sins of my own. Like those who post massive lists, I only used 2 or 3 sins from those lists, but then some of my own sins were ones that were present in those lists, which makes it look like I took credit for those sins myself, when in reality I just don't want to be putting the same person's name in front of every sin. And like I said, it's also unfair to everyone else who wants to submit sins, so yeah. Again, like, I really appreciate how much effort you guys put in, but, you know, yeah, we just gotta keep it fair, you know? Otherwise, keep doing what you're doing. The sins so far have been pretty good, so yeah. Good on you, Zai! Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click that alert button to stay up to date, and follow me on Twitter for all, you know, all the latest updates and whatnot.
Oh yeah, almost forgot. It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I completely forgot to put this in. My shout out for this video goes to the Game Zerkers. They're a couch co-op let's play channel. If that's your thing, check them out, why don't you? I almost forgot, so you got fucking lucky, right?
Okay, now to activate your speech function.
Do you honestly think you're fucking funny fucking with my friends? Seriously. You're a fucking ugly little cunt.
There seems to be a problem with the speech circuitry. I'll take a look at it later.